Proszę Państwa.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we start the second session of the plenary meeting, and this part of the plenary session will be devoted to preventing illegal content, which unfortunately is quite popular on the internet. And our papers will present us the operation of hotlines and the mission of InHope, that's the association of all lines, and the threats of virtual world and how the police is doing in this field. We start with Birgit Roth. She's the General Secretary of InHope. She's responsible for contact with the government. She used to be a German MP. Over to you.
Yes, hello all together. First of all, thank you for the invitation. Thank you for inviting InHope, the International Association of Hotlines. Thank you for putting so much pressure on this crucial and important topic. And of course, my compliment for the preparation of this conference to Agnieszka. I hope it was right like this, to the Polish note and to Peter. Keeping children and young people safe online. First of all, please, just a word about InHope, what we are doing, and of course, what's our mission. The InHope mission is to support and enhance the performance of internet hotlines around the world. And for example, of course, you have a national hotline in Poland, the Polish hotline, and I've visited them yesterday, and I really can tell you it's a very professional hotline. And Marek will speak to you, let's say, 15, 20 minutes later. So we ensure swift action is taken in responding to reports of illegal content to make the internet a safer place, not to say just a little bit safer. InHope. InHope represents and coordinates a global network of currently 33 international hotlines all over the world. And there are still some hotlines in the pipeline, and I would say the wish for the future is that hopefully Russia will join our network. And we support the hotlines in their fight against illegal content to make the internet safer. And normally you will find one hotline, for example, as in Poland, per country. Of course, there are some exceptions. For example, like in Germany, you will find 3 hotlines there. Or go to Italy, there are 2 hotlines. But please, just don't compare them just by numbers. For example, the Irish hotline, they got round about 200 reports per month. If you look to the US, to the National Center, they will get, let's say, round about 10,000 reports per month. So please just don't compare them just by numbers. You have to look at the national situation, the national country, the background, and of course, the individual hotline. And of course, Marek will tell you a little bit more. And InHope, we are providing, for example, best practice papers for the hotline, training courses about the technical development, because you know the technique is moving very, very fast nowadays. And of course, we try to speed up our hotlines and to give them the knowledge with the help of the industry. InHope, just a word on this, was founded in the year 1999 under the European Commission's Safer Internet Action Plan. You know that probably better than I, to combat these growing concerns. And I would just like to mention the DG Information Society and the head of unit, Richard Swettenham, and for example, guys like Michael, who are here today as well. And probably I can say, without the support of the EC, there won't be a hotline and there won't be InHope. So, of course, I have to show you this because I have to use you as a platform. I have to use this forum. Please just have a look at the webpage of InHope. And normally you can see a flashy button on the right. Report illegal content. So please, if you come across illegal content, or let's say harmful content, or content you think, hey, come on, this is not okay, this should be illegal, report it to your hotline. Report it, for example, to the Polish hotline, or if you don't have a hotline in your country, hey, come on, you can do something, you can establish a hotline if you like. If not, just report it to InHope. Just send us what you find, and we'll take care about this. That means we, hotlines, offer you an easy way to report suspected illegal sites and content you find on the internet. And each report is reviewed by a content analyst, and the origin of the internet is traced. Because, yeah, come on, we are talking about a global medium. You can see it all over the world. But, for example, if you see something here, theoretically in Poland, of course, I would say, most of the time, it's not hosted in Poland because of the legislation. To be honest, you are very stupid if you host illegal content, for example, in Poland or in Germany. You go somewhere else. That means, for example, if you see something in Poland and you send it to your Polish hotline, and then they will trace it. And it could be possible that it's hosted, for example, in the US. And then they will send directly an email with all the information about the host, about the registration, for example, to the US. Let's say they need, for the whole process, 10 minutes. That means we are very, very fast, and we can send that directly to America, to the National Center, and they will take care of it with law enforcement. And they will try to get that illegal content down. And of course, if possible, to find the children and to help the children. That means a hotline refers to local, or it depends if there is not, if it's hosted somewhere else and you don't have a hotline there, to national or international law enforcement, to the hotline in the origin, and of course referred to the ISP. For example, if you look at Great Britain, if you look at the UK, there's an absolutely professional hotline in the UK. They're working for the last 8-9 years. It's the IWF. It's the International Watch Foundation. And for example, they have a special MOU, a special deal with the industry. If the illegal content is hosted in the UK, the ISPs will take it down in between 48 hours. And this is absolutely great. And Peter Behrens mentioned it before. The ISPs, the industry, they have a responsibility. So, and as, for example, Will and Marcus said before, illegal content and illegal activities on the internet is a cross-border problem. Often material reported to hotlines is hosted beyond the borders of their own country. And as I said, for example, probably the Polish hotline will be able to send a report like this to our friends in America in between minutes. But of course, every hotline has to work with law enforcement. You're not able to build up a hotline if you don't work with law enforcement, because this is the standard, this is the quality. If you don't do it, I'm sorry, you can't establish a hotline, that's the rule. So hotlines have proven to be an effective first line of defense. Because in a way, we are able to judge, is it illegal or is it not illegal? And if it's illegal, we send it directly to law enforcement, to reduce the workload of law enforcement as well. But of course, we're just a tiny little NGO. So for us, strategical alliances are absolutely crucial, and that means, hey, come on, guys, let's work together. We are working with law enforcement, of course, with governments, child welfare groups, and the industry. And I have to mention Microsoft, because Microsoft is really doing a good job and helping us. We have a next meeting, for example, next InHope meeting in Lisbon in some weeks, 4 weeks I think. And for example, we will get some trainers, some training courses from Microsoft, and they have the nearest technologies, and they have the knowledge. And of course, they will give the knowledge to InHope, to the InHope Association, for free. And we need that. So we have a lot of strategical alliances, and of course with InSafe. We have a collaboration with InSafe, and Janice will make a workshop, I think, 2 hours later, because getting the illegal stuff out of the internet is just half of it. You have to educate the people, the children, the parents, the public as well. But I don't like to talk about awareness raising. Janice will do this much better than I. But this is another strategic alliances of us. That means we are facing a global fight. And come on, it's a multi-million-dollar business, and it's not easy to fight against this. So let's do it together. And for example, if you look at InHope, we have an international board. Our president is from the United States, Ruben Rodriguez, and he's working for NCMEC. We have somebody else on the board from the Asian Pacific region, and we have 3 European members. For example, somebody from Finland, and it's Mary, she's in the board as well. So if you have any questions afterwards about InHope, about our work, just ask Marek, Mary, or me, no problem. It's just send us an email, no problem at all. So we have a board which is very international to reflect that global fight we have to do. And just last but not least, some trends. We received in the year 2007 altogether 1.4 million reports. Of course, not every report was contained illegal material. Round about 20% of those reports, of all processed reports, were about illegal or harmful content. It's a lot of. And if you look at those 20%, 50% of those contained child sexual abused images. And we can tell you, because of our database, that this is still growing. We have an increase in the year 2007 round about 15% more. And this is absolutely crucial. And that's why we decided that we have to get a better statistical base to do some research and, of course, to say something about trends. And that's the reason why we will build up a huge database. It's already recommended for funding by the European Commission, because we couldn't do that on our own. We need the money for the technology, and we will start in November. And hopefully it's up and running next year, hopefully August. Don't quote me. But the database is absolutely crucial for research, because we have to know about what we are talking. For example, the IWF, the hotline in the UK, they really have some good figures. They can tell you, for example, if we are talking about illegal content, if you look at the age of the children, 20% of the children are under 3 years old. And this is absolutely incredible. And we have to do something against this. And that means we need a good database, we need a good research to tell you something about the age of the children, to tell you something about the gender, if it's commercial or is it non-commercial, is it peer-to-peer, what is it? So that we can give you material, data and trends to force, for example, politicians, and to try to get a good legislation. And Michael already said something about the legislation in the different countries and the difficulties. So I know it's not easy. And if you go outside, or if you go just in the internet, you will find thousands of those pictures. But anyway, every single picture we can take down is one picture less. And I think that's the strategy. And Agnieszka told me I have to give some examples, and of course it will be a pleasure for me to do that. just 2-3 sentences of some press releases. This is a current one. It's from last week, from the 12th of September, and it's from Canada. A 61-year-old man from Chilliwack has been arrested on child pornography charges after an investigation by the local police unit. The tip came in on the 12th of August 2007, so more than 1 year, and was forwarded to the National Child Exploitation Coordination Center in Canada. As a result, the Integrated Child Exploitation Unit in British Columbia was notified and an investigation was concerned. And hey, they got him. Or for example, another example from Spain, from Europe. It's from June 2008. Protegerlet, that's the Spanish hotline. Tips have led to one of the largest police operations against child sexual abuse images on the internet in Spain, with over 55 people arrested and 179 hard disks intervened. And you can imagine, if you find 179 disks, how many pictures are there? So come on, let's work together and get them down. Thank you.